Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. As we're working our way towards the end of round two, all right? We've got a handful or so more to do. It's going to probably take us to early next week, all right? Today we got two heavyweight bands, big time, all right? One of these albums released in 1988, a double album. The other one's a triple released in 2003, taken from recordings from way back in the day. Okay, I'm talking about Pink Floyd, The Delicate Sound of Thunder, all right, and Led Zeppelin, How the West Was Won. Two of probably the most formidable bands that we feature on this channel. All right, usually when folks in the comments section start talking about, you know, those untouchable bands, it's usually Zeppelin, Floyd, and the Beatles. All right. Usually you don't get much argument about any of that stuff. You know, most people are kind of like, you cannot beat them, and Hendrix from time to time as well. All right, but so we've got these two kind of later period releases. All right, so let's start with the Delicate Sound of Thunder. Okay, of course, this was recorded at the Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, New York, August 19th through the 23rd, 1988. Released officially November 22nd. 1988. Again, another pretty quickly pulled together live album. All right. This is the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour. So we got the lineup here of David Gilmour, guitars and vocals, Nick Mason on drums, Richard Wright on keyboards, backing vocals, John Caron on keyboards, Rachel Fury backing vocals, Durga McBroom backing vocals, Scott Page on sax, Guy Pratt on bass and backing vocals, Tim Renwick on guitars, Margaret Taylor backing vocals, and Gary Wallace on percussion, additional keyboards, and things like that. So kind of like the big band Pink Floyd, so to speak, right after Roger Waters kind of flew the coop. They kind of rounded the lineup out with, you know, all sorts of different musicians to flesh out the sound. So a really good live album that kind of combines tunes from the Momentary Lapse of Reason with old familiar classics. So you've got Shine On You Crazy Diamond, okay, kicking things off at nearly 12 minutes long. Really, really good version of that. Learning to Fly, yet another movie, Round and Around, a killer Sorrow, a killer Dogs of War, and On the Turning Away. So a lot of the newer tunes, right, on disc one. Okay, over on disc two, you got One of These Days, the creepy groove-laden One of These Days, right from the amazing metal album. You've got Time, classic Pink Floyd from Dark Side of the Moon. Title track to the Wish You Were Here album. Us and Them. Money. All right, so we got some Dark Side in the house here. Another Brick in the Wall, part 2. Comfortably Numb and Run Like Hell. Those last three, of course, from The Wall. All right, Comfortably Numb is killer here. Man, that guitar solo, right? Doesn't matter what version you hear. It's always great. Just top to bottom, really solid. Really, really solid. You know, if you miss Waters, I get it. For me, I don't miss him here. I think this is just stellar Pink Floyd playing a lot of the great tunes, right? It's a shame we never had that, like, official live album from Pink Floyd in the 70s. You know, like maybe right around the Animals time or Wish You Were Here. Would have been great to have heard a live album from the, you know, the classic lineup of the band. But this is killer. Killer. All right, over on the other end of the ring, the legendary Led Zeppelin, How the West Was Won. So this was recorded at various places. Well, actually, from the LA Forum, Long Beach, not various places. 25th and the 27th of June, 1972, LA Forum, Long Beach Arena. Okay, those two. All right, so yeah, two places. LA Forum and Long Beach Arena. Get your facts straight here, Pete. From the 25th and 27th June 1972, officially released, okay, as this triple CD set, May 27th, 2003. Some great performances here. A lot of lengthy jams from Page, Plant, Bonham, and Jones. All right, you're kicking it all off. We got the Immigrant Song, then Heartbreaker, Black Dog, Over the Hills and Far Away, Since I've Been Loving You, Stairway to Heaven, Going to California, That's the Way, and Bron-Yr Stomp. Okay, so that's taken again. They've mixed like all the different, those two venues, right? They got performances taken from both of those shows. All right, some great renditions of those classic tunes on disc one. Disc two, we got Dazed and Confused. All right, 25 minutes long with a little bit of Walter's Walk and the Crunge mixed in. All right, you got What Is and What Should Never Be. Dancing Days, Moby Dick, all right, with some great Bonham drum solos. Over on disc 3, you got A Whole Lot of Love, 23 minutes and change. Okay, there's all sorts of things thrown out, some 50s classics and things thrown in there. Then you got Rock and Roll, The Ocean, and then a killer Bring It On Home to finish it all off. One of my favorite versions of Bring It On Home, one of my favorite Zeppelin tunes. Some sensational guitar playing. The vocals are great. The rhythm section is killer. Production's really good on this one. All right, I know there's been a lot of talk about how Page went and did all sorts of overdubbing and fixing up of this to make it sound so perfect. Yeah, probably, right? I mean, that happened a lot. Like, a lot of the classic live albums have been touched up a lot in the studio. But this is a nice set, okay? I remember when this came out, people were like, my God, where's this been hiding all these years, right? You know, we basically had The Song Remains the Same forever and ever, and then this came out. It's like, woo, almost makes The Song Remains the Same look kind of pale in comparison, right? But great live album. Both of these are great live albums. So comes down to the part of the video where I have to make a choice, and you as well. So if I'm choosing between one of these two, for me, it's not really a contest. I'm going to go with Zeppelin all the way on this. I love this a lot. You know, I'm a Pink Floyd fan, but the mighty Zeppelin here reigns supreme. It's just the set list is tough to beat. The performances are tough to beat, and it's just a powerhouse of a band, absolutely in their prime. All right, 1972, man. Hard to beat Zeppelin back then, right? So we've got a 5th round KO by Zeppelin and the boys. Your opinion may vary. You may prefer the Floyd, and that's good too, right? They're both great. There's no right or wrong answer here. They're both really good, but we got to pick one to move forward in the tournament. So in that little white bubble up there with the letter I in it, click on that. Vote for Pink Floyd. Vote for Led Zeppelin. The winner in 6 days will move on to round 3 of our tournament to crown your favorite live album of all time. Who's it going to be? We don't know. We got a lot of good ones. Moving on in the tournament, we still have a few left to do in round 2, so we're going to get to those over the next 4 or 5 days, all right? And then we'll move on to round 3 in about a week and a half, all right? So this is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. We'll see you guys again tomorrow morning with more classic live album war. We've got, I'm still putting the finishing touches on top 10 songs from Elton John, all right? So many great songs. Been kind of difficult wheedling it all down. All right, that's coming up too. We got our last live questions and answers show Saturday morning. That's coming up too. All sorts of things in the hopper, so to speak. So stay tuned. Don't miss any of it. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.